Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Fax and Stupidus, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukener certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable. Welcome back to the 2025 FIM Sidecar Motocross World Championship, and we are in Lommel in Belgium for round 5 of this 9-round championship. It's a beautiful place, it's a well-known track, and my goodness me, what a series. It all kicked off in the Czech Republic in Kramelin, and that set the scene for a terrific season. Lommel though, deep sand, very different story.
The gates are down and away they go. Somebody over there, is that Jason Van Dalen? Yes, it is. But it's Prunier. Prunier, no, it isn't. It's Benny Weiss. Benny Weiss, the Austrian. Checkered flag for Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider.
I don't know what to say now. It's our first win.
The gate goes down. Watch Leo Barnes. It's Prunier. Left over the gate, but it's Koen Hermans. Koen Hermans getting the drop. 3 race wins in a row it'll be for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Hermans has got another rocket ship off the line. Down they go, round the inside. Look at Brett Wilkins and Joe Millon on the inside of Hermans. Have they made a seat? They've taken the lead here. Oh, that is that's a massive crash. That is a massive, massive crash. Checkered flag for Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. The double again.
Yeah, I see another Koen this year. Koen who wants to battle for the world title.
Down, we're well into 5 seconds. The gate will drop any minute. Away they go. And Brett Wilkinson right in the middle. He's got sandwich and he's heard someone's turned over, and it wasn't Brett. It's Stuart Brown and Scott Graham who hit the front. Victory for Les Frères Prunier. Félicitations. Absolutely amazing stuff.
What to say? Just perfect race from the start to the end.
Now the gate's away, and Brett Wilkinson gets a flyer in the middle. It's Brett Wilkinson, but he gets a nudge. Stuart Brown, Scott Graham, and Hermans, who's on the outside. Stuart Brown and Scott Graham. Wilkinson threw on the inside on Hermans. No, couldn't get the drive down. Hermans alongside. Prunier has done enough here for overall.
After this, the crowd was just unbelievable. I could just not hear the engine. We made some mistake because of this, but it's just so positive, and thanks to them because the victory is a part of them.
Down goes the gate, and it looks like the Lille Barnes boys. The Lille Barnes boys have got the whole shot. Can they get it round the bend? 18 race competition of Prunier's alongside, and is he going to hold it over the jump? Lille Barnes, but Prunier showed his front wheel to the Latvians, and now he's shown it, and the back wheel, and the sidecar wheel. He's got it all the way through. Checkered flag for Kilian Evon Prunier. Prunier gets a flyer. Kilian Evon Prunier get the flyer here. You've done it, boys. You have done it. Indeed they did, and we're here in Lommel, round 5 then. So this, we've had 8 races already done and dusted, and this, the championship classification. Koen Hermans with a relatively slender lead over Kilian and Evan Prunier. Brett Wilkinson there in 3rd, Marvin van Lukener, Koen Weiss. The Lille Barnes boys up to 7th, 10 points clear of the Leiferinks in 8th place. Davy Sanders on home ground here in Lommel. And Stuart Brown, Scott Graham, they were going well too, but they had to go into last chance due to a noise penalty. Here on the lineup, would you believe that Tanner Robbie back have done it again on a one-off appearance, come here to Lommel and go top of the pile with a 49.886. Incredible. Justin Kerben is quick. Leiferinks are there. Lille Barnes boys. Julian Veldman, another return from a superstar. Charismatic, colourful, fast with Glenn Janssens alongside. Stefan Wise, Koen Hermans there. Further down the order, had a bit of a misfortune. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard heading off the top of the second table. Mulders, that means they won't be on the second row, but they won't get an advantageous first row position. Willemsen always gets it off the line. Gordiev there as well. Devil Dare. 30 crews go. Hartfeld, Adrian Petter, Benny Weiss was in, well, just about scraped in above last chance. Prunier boys, they're going to have to ride very safely and do the best they can in conditions they don't like. And there are two reserves, Surkart Beckhardt and Horman Schlierlitz. And a drone shot of this famous yet notorious Lommel track. There's already been a fair amount of action on it. The fastest place to start, hard over on the left as they look at it and right as we look at it. Etienne Bax 82 alongside number 7 Justin Kerben. Then Tim and Sem Leferink. The question mark here in this heat, it's well above 30 degrees here in Lommel, whether they can stand the pace. Drivers and passengers, and indeed engines, the 4-stroke engine oil will be like water, is a polite way to say it. Leo Bardis boys, 101, lining up alongside Julian Veldman in that distinctive yellow and green 31. Good to see him back on 3 wheels with Glenn Janssens. What better could he have than a reigning world champion passenger? Koen Hermans then, virtually in the middle alongside Stefan Wise and Han van Hal. So you can see how they line up, looking from the left. Kerben, Bax, Leferink, Leo Bardis. Then it's Veldman, then it's Hermans. And, well, Davy Sanders there, just to his right, our left of the start gate operator. Tim Prummer, Jano Stegman's number 17. Jake Brown with Chris Booth in this weekend did a really, really good job in qualifying, so it'll be good to see what the British crews could do. Alongside him, Brett Wilkins and Joe Millard, who were not happy with their qualifying race, muttering to me something about the blue flags and the tail enders, so they felt a little bit hard done by, and that's fair enough. Frank Mulders, number 72. Frank Mulders, regular sand goer. Tom van der Laag about 99 with Robbie De Vena. 141, the Verhees boys, Boyd and Peer Verhees, and there Daniel Willemsen with Michael Gabor. Lining up behind them, the number 16 crew. Jory van Moderen and his big burly passenger. I'll get that for you any minute. Tony Kramer. Tony Kramer there. Got so much paperwork flying around on my desk here, and I say flying around because I've got a fan behind me which is doing two things: keeping me cool, keeping my large bottle of orange juice cool, and keeping the laptop cool, which is making it all work. Beautiful weather here in Lommel, beautifully prepared track. Davy Maris and his team have done an absolutely excellent job. They're the organisers, and Davy Maris, of course, runs his own business, Sidecar Service. He's the VMC and Zabel man for this part of the world, and indeed for Sidecar Motocross across there. Though, Etienne and Robbie Bax are brothers who started their career together so many years ago. Both retired, Robbie to take care of his father's business and Etienne to pursue his own business interests with his bitumen roofing company. But last year they made a return to Lommel on a one-off appearance and virtually won the event. They won the first race, finished second in the second race to Marvin van Luken, who's a spectator here. And Marvin, our thoughts go out to you, unable to compete because of that illness which is plaguing you at the moment, which causes massive fatigue. Get back soon, get well soon, we miss you. 2 rows then, 30 crews. So from the left on the front row, Kerben, Bax, Leferink, Leo Bardis, Veldman, Hermans. And that's who we'll be looking for, those guys on the left-hand side. Then it's Davy Sanders. 15 seconds board, up. I've got to get myself psyched up because we've got 30 minutes plus 2 laps to do here in baking sunshine in Lommel. This ain't gonna be funny, but it's gonna be exciting, I can tell you. Watch this then, the gates down, and away they go, and that looked as though that was Kerbin. Kerbin streaking on the outside, inside line. Kerbin is round. Kerbin has got the whole shot. Bax has gone with him, but streaking away. Oh, who's got that? That was a flyer from the other side of the grid. Kerbin now relegated into second place. It's Daniel Willemsen, would you believe, from the right-hand side of the start line, ahead of Tim Brummer and Jarno Stegmans. No, Etienne Bax, I beg your pardon. Etienne Bax in second. Kerbin was first round the turn, but he went wide. Daniel Willemsen then, and Michael Gabor lead. 10 times the world champion. Koen Hermans there in the mix as well. Koen Hermans going very well. Kerbin looking to be in 4th place at the moment. He'll be disappointed with that, having led all the way up the straight. But what a start by Willemsen. Caught me with my pants down, I can tell you. There we go. The red plate of Hermans going past Tim and Sem Lefering. So Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart up into 3rd place now. Gone past the Lefering. Who's ahead of them? Etienne Bax and Robbie Bax, I believe. It is indeed the Bax boys in second ahead of Koen Hermans. Race leader though, Daniel Willemsen and Michael Gabor. Lefering's ahead of Kerbin. Kerbin then in 6th. Julian Veldman also got a pretty good start, but he's not in the leading bunch. They do get sprung out already, you can see their line astern here in Lommel. Not quite the whole shot Etienne Bax was aiming for, but second is good enough because he knows that Daniel Willemsen and Michael Gabor ahead of him will not stand the pace for the total distance. There goes Kerbin, there goes Stefan Wires, there goes the Leobardis boys. Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard behind Daniel and Bruno Leobardis. Veldman then dropping back behind Wilkinson, so Wilkinson has nailed Julian Veldman at that point. Frank Mulders is coming up. Brummer is also going back. He's dropped 2 places on the opening lap. Davy Sanders didn't get the best of starts. This is going to be fascinating. 3 minutes of racing already gone, so 1/10 of the full distance, but it is going to be a lifetime to those boys. Bax now closing on Willemsen, and this is going to be a matter of time, and a very short time I think, before Etienne Bax, 5 times a world champion, chasing a man who's 10 times a world champion. And when I interviewed Daniel Willemsen some seasons ago in Kremlin, he said it took him 18 full seasons, if not more, to win his 10 titles. He said you have to have total commitment. Etienne Bax has said the same. He's a 9 times domestic champion. But the Lefering's now closing on Koen Hermans and having a fight back here. So, Dutch regulars these. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart fight regularly with Tim and Sam Lefering in the National Championship. Drone shot showing you just how spread out this Lommel track is. It has to be a minimum length of 1.7 kilometres to meet the FIM homologation. So there's a battle going on here. Hermans now is looking to his laurels because he's under real pressure from Tim and Sem Lefering. And Kerbin has gone past. Kerbin is there. There is Kerbin. There is Bax. Hermans behind Bax. Race leader Willemsen still. Hermans now closing on Bax and making a play for second place. He's shaken off the attentions of Tim and Sem Lefering. It is a battle at the front. Bax now in the lead. Etienne Bax. Robbie Bax alongside his younger brother. The thing is, have they got 30-minute endurance? Down to second goes Daniel Willemsen. So Bax has done what he meant to do. He's thrown the rest of the chasing field. Daniel Willemsen as bait. They've now got to get past a very, very canny, a very shrewd and a very tough and experienced rider. For those of you who have tuned in to the FIM-moto live stream, thank you for joining us. You are watching the 2025 Sidecarcross World Championship at its very best here. The Lefrinks are now going past Daniel, who appears to have a problem. Tim and Sam Lefferink are chasing hard. Willemsen still fighting back. Kerben is coming. Hermans then in second place, Bax at the front. And we will get that when we go over the line. 2 laps completed. Looked like Stuart Brown on the right-hand side. Now that looks like Veldman maybe further down the order there in that bright yellow. We'll try and get an update on that. Over the line they go. Back from Lefferink, from Kerben. Hermans is going backwards. Hermans, Ben van den Bogart have a problem here. They've dropped out of the leading quartet. This is not what they wanted. Hermans dropped 2 places immediately after crossing the line. Bax is leading. Tim and Sam Lefferink, you're looking at it. 1, 2. There's Justin Kerben and Dion Rietman, the number 7 outfit. Really in the hunt, so a battle of 3 here now. Daniel Willemsen, Mikael Gabor still in 4th. Brett Wilkinson moving up in 6th place. He's showing at the moment as being behind Koen Hermans, but I'll be very interested to see what the real situation is there. Hermans has had a problem. He's falling into the clutches of Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard, who are just 2 seconds behind him. The Neil Bardis boys as well, not having the best of rides. Stefan Wires, Veldman is in 9th. Krummer, Mulders, Sanders, looking for the French champions. Where the devil is Kilian Prunier? Kilian Prunier in 22nd place at the moment. So 2 positions out of the points. They must have had a dismal, dismal start from the second row. But at the front, Etienne Robbie Bax leading race 1 here in Lommel, just as they led race 1 here in Lommel 12 months ago after retiring at the end of the 2023 season. The man is a machine. His brother is a machine. It's as simple as that. Lefferink, though, goes so well here. They said when we interviewed them in Gdansk, they want to get back to the sand, to the home going, the going they know so well, and how well they ride. The Lefferink boys going so very strongly here. Number 75 on the VMC KTM. This is the race then at the front. Brothers lead. The Lefferink brothers in second place. Nearly 10 minutes of racing already gone. Can you believe it? I can't. The track here has been graded and prepared in the start-finish area, and over 1 or 2 of the jumps, Paul Millard in shot there, doing pit duties for Brett Wilkinson. Paul Millard, many times a Grand Prix race winner and overall GP winner as well with his brother Mark. We've said it so many times, the family connections in this sport are undeniably strong. So Paul's nephew Joe, Hermans has gone past Willemsen up to 4th place, so Hermans and Ben van den Bogart are still in the chasing of the leading trio, but Kerben is ahead of them and he's going to be a more difficult nut to crack, and now Bax has been passed by Tim and Sam Lefferink, and Kerben has got Etienne Bax in his sights. The Lefferinks here are going like a train. Just look at them, and they're on rails as well. Tim and Sam Lefferink in this shocking heat. And I hope Sam Lefferink holds good, because we saw on Strauss Bessenbach in the second race that he succumbed to heat exhaustion there. And it's every bit as warm here in Lommel as it was in Strasbourg a year ago. And that is where we're headed next on our journeys around Europe. Strasbourg is next up, then we go to Latvia, Vesoul in France, and the whole finale is in Rudersburg. And we're back to Netherlands for the Sidecar and Quad Cross of Nations. But back to the race in hand. Tim and Sam Lefferink now, the 79 crew on their VMC KTM, are pulling away from Etienne and Robbie Bax, who have now got Justin Kerben and Dion Reitman for company. Well, it's no surprise Etienne was passed by a couple of youngsters who are at the peak of their condition and having an extremely good ride in this year's championship. They're lying just behind the Lille Bardis boys in the points, coming here on 105 points after taking 4 points in qualifying, which we now have new for the 2025 season. The top 5 qualifying places earn 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points respectively, as Justin Kerben puts a left hand up to roll off a little bit more of his window. Closing and wisely not following the same line as Etienne Bax. Picking an inner line just in case some misfortune should befall the rider in front of you. You cannot easily change lines. You're in tram track here. As you can see down from the drone shot on the right hander there, and we already saw a move, and that looked like, well, I'm guessing, but it looked like the Prunier boys making a bit of a move. Might have been the Lille Bardin twins. Veldman up to 7 now behind Willemsen. So Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens. And the fastest lap by Etienne Bax was on lap 3, 153.898. But his last lap was 156.499. So something happened to Etienne, and now we've got something more happening. Upside down. Sorry, I missed that. I was looking at my timing screen. So who was that going upside down? As Etienne Bax successfully negotiates, it must have been a tail ender because the Lefferinks are through. Etienne and Robbie Bax following Tim and Sam Lefferink, and they are well and truly among the tail enders here now. And what you saw there was typical of what happens on these deep ruts. A little bit off balance, the sidecar or the bike is in a deeper rut than the other side of it, and over she goes. Etienne and Robbie Bax still holding firm here. Justin Kerben coming into view with a tail ender ahead of him. There is Justin Kerben looking backwards for the red plate of Hermans, and here it comes. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Boogaard, with Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard right on their case. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard have got Koen Hermans and Ben van den Boogaard inside the left-hand chair. Round the outside, getting the power on. Brett and Joe, very accomplished sand riders. Wisely again, not duplicating the line. They know now they've got the measure of Koen Hermans. They're so close, they can almost see what he had for breakfast. And a tail ender ahead of Koen Hermans, who is moving out now into the outside line. Not conscious of the fact maybe that Brett Wilkinson is having a look on the other line. There's a way through here for the British pair, and if they can do so, they will go up to 4th place. Coming here 3rd in the standings, and they need to really build strong points to enhance on that, because they will close dramatically on Kilian and Evan Prunier, and this is their opportunity for the 199 group. The 125 pairing of Jens Delmotte right behind them, so Delmotte and his passenger Joey Valka. Working off 2 sheets of paper here. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, 199. Past the red plate, lovely move. Up to 4th place then. Have they got the speed on Kerben? Well, let's have a look. Kerben's last lap, 2:01. Wilkinson 2:03, but his fastest lap 2:03.6. So he is on it. Brett Wilkinson lapping slightly slower than Justin Kerben. But getting into the midpoint of the race, and we have 15 minutes of racing already done and dusted. 15 to go, plus 2 laps. Left Freaks now have a 2-second lead over Etienne Bax and Robbie Bax. Justin Kerben some 5 seconds behind, with Brett Wilkinson a bit further down the road but fighting, and there he goes. Kerben still, Herman still fighting back. Jaylanders waving on there. Julian Veldman up to 6th place and going fast, going like a train in fact. 2:02.329, his fastest lap. The fastest lap of the race set by Etienne Bax, but they won't be setting fastest laps of the race in these conditions. Back now lapping in about 2 minutes. Wilkinson in the 1:58. So Wilkinson another fast lap, 1:58.8.9. He's on a charge and he's moving away now from Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Good to see the British crew come on so strongly in the sand. And not only that, they come on strongly in the second half of the race as well. Blue flags being waved here for the tailors to move over. Men are coming through. Passenger very much aware, staying to his line. The 1-2-4 crew doing an admirable job. That's Leon Hoffman and Julian Zimmerman moving out of the way for Wilkinson and Millard. This will do them a power of good. The B-Power 4-stroke, never having missed a beat. I'm not tempting fate here, putting the commentator's curse on it, but Wilkinson and Millard, since the change of engine, have not only got it off the line well, but they've sustained their speed throughout the race, and the reliability has been terrific. They've had their share of sand thrown at them though. They're well and truly filled in, but we can identify them by the number on the sidecar. Joe Millard's such an experienced passenger, having ridden with many drivers over the years. Stuart Brown to name just one, who is in this race, and I'll give you a quick update. Up to 12th place, Stuart Brown and Scott Graham. So they're making headway as well. And would you believe it, going with them is his son Jake Brown and Chris Booth. So the Brown family are on the move in 12th and 13th place, well in the points. Left Brink now nearly 7 seconds advantage over Etienne Bax. Justin Kerben still in that 3rd place position, 10 seconds ahead of Brett Wilkinson. So this British crew have a massive job to do in the next 12 minutes to close down Justin Kerben, who himself is seeking big points. Coming here on 1:34, will automatically move into 4th place at the expense of poor Marvin van Lukener, who is trackside watching his championship evaporate. But what a ride now by Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Where is Hermans? Hermans almost out of sight, 10 seconds out of sight, dropping back into the clutches now of Julian Veldman, who's really on a mission. So Veldman is going to nail Hermans. Hermans, of course, the red plate holder, championship leader, not having a happy time here in Lommel. Cannot say the same though for Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. Just look at them on the crest of a wave here, the British crew. This is a magnificent performance. If they can do something about Kerben, they've got to wind in 10 seconds on a very fast number 7 crew. That is not going to be an easy job, but Hermans still in the running. Where is Veldman? There is Veldman! There is Veldman on the inside and going through. Julian Veldman alongside Koen Hermans. I knew he was coming. Right on the case then of the red plate holder. Julian Veldman, another one-off ride, been in the quad sport with a fair amount of success, certainly at national level in 2024, but oh how we miss him on 3 wheels, and with Glenn Janssens aboard, what a formidable combination they are. Past Hermans then, and this time he's made it stick. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart going backwards here, watching their championship lead be eroded all the time. Veldman, of course, not a threat to them in the championship, but the likes of Wilkinson will improve. Prunier, where has Prunier managed to climb to? Well, is Prunier in the points? Well, he's in 17th place, so yes, he's in the points. He will earn 4 points for that as its damage limitation, because Koen Hermans is going backwards, albeit slowly here, as Prunier is advancing, and I have to say equally slowly. But meanwhile, Julian Veldman has really got his act together, and he is going to be a serious threat to Brett Wilkinson. With 10 minutes of racing still to go here, the British crew need to look to their laurels. There, Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis making advancement. They have gone past Koen Hermans, who's got a problem. He definitely has a problem. Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart, the way things are looking, might even be lucky to finish this race. They are going backwards. Another place lost, down to 6th now. Lielbardis down to 7th with the Lielbardis boys going by. So Stefan Wires and Han van Hal, 418, are in 8th place. Are they going to be the next ones to catch Koen Hermans, who clearly has some misfortune? All is not well with the red plate holder, but they're battling on. 8 minutes of racing remaining before the 2-lap board comes out. How close is Veldman getting to Brett Wilkinson? Wilkinson then over the line, he goes behind Kerben, and the gap is 20 seconds he has on Justin Kerben, or rather Kerben has on him, so that is a mountain to climb for Brett. 4th place, though, still highly respectable, and will earn them decent points. 25, 22, 20, 18. Brett Wilkinson is on at the moment, and that will move him on to 160 and close him in significantly on Villeneuve and Prunier, who themselves are riding damage limitation on Koen Hermans. It's a fascinating race, because the Lefferings in that 25 position have really put a spanner in the works. But the 31 of Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens are ever closing on Brett Wilkinson. "14 seconds the disadvantage Veldman has. 7 minutes of racing remaining before the 2-lap board comes out. There is Hermans in the white behind Veldman, who's at that left-hander now from the drone shot. And then a massive drop back behind Hermans. And Tim Prummer has gone past Stefan Wires. So Tim Prummer and Jarno Stegmans have gone past the 418 Wires and Van Hal crew. And they are now behind Hermans. And if Hermans' rate of progress backwards continues, Tim Prummer could stand a chance of catching him 17 seconds adrift of the red plate. "12 laps completed by Leffering, Bax, Kerben now closing on Etienne Bax, some 6 seconds behind. Brett Wilkinson then is the next man behind Kerben. Over he goes. A 10-second deficit, so that has not changed. Brett Wilkinson has still got that 10 seconds to try and catch up, but there's an awful lot going on here in the shape of traffic as the Lielbardis boys make their way through. And there, well, that's Veldman fighting through as well. Veldman looking for a way past. Lil Bardis boys have gone past Feldman. Feldman has gone back one. Now he's got to try and fight back. He obviously got stuck behind the tail enders. There, Daniel and Bruno Lil Bardis going out of sight at the top of your picture. Julian Veltman, Glenn Jansen's with him. It's all change here with 5 minutes of racing to go before the 2-lap board. It's all change. And it is indeed absolutely dramatic stuff. Julian Veltman, Glenn Jansen's got mixed up in the traffic there. Let's have a look. Well, they had a very slow lap there, 2:06.4. And they're capable of much more than that. They were 6 seconds slower on that lap than the previous one. So is there a problem with the number 31? Doesn't appear to be at the moment, but they look somewhat more sedate, if that is a word that can be used in the sport of sidecar motocross. Has Julian Veltman got a personal problem here? Has he taken a knock? Glenn certainly performing as we'd expect him to perform, impeccably. But at the front, the trackside commentator, I can hear him outside of my headphones, is going absolutely bonkers because Justin Kerben is closing in on Etienne Bax here. Frank Mulders, Mark van Deutekom, the 79 crew. Good position for them, considering they're not Grand Prix regulars. They're in 12th place behind Stuart Brown. And Jake Brown has gone off the reckoning here, dropping back down the order. So Jake Brown and Chris Booth going backwards. Father Stewart is still on his way up. Tim Primmer into 8th place now. Lil Bardis. What's happening here? Look how deep those ruts are. Van der Lagemat 14th, Prunier 15th place. So they're still moving up the order, the Prunier brothers. That's what they need to do. Just keep plugging away and come away with some steady points, because Koen Hermans is far from in the pound seats here. There, Etienne Bax. Tim and Sam Leffering. Looking for Justin Kerben. The Leffering boy's in trouble here as well. Who's that? Upside down. That is someone over. That's the 127 crew. The 127s, that's Andre Kruben and Florian Pledka. 13 lap completed by the Leffering. And I need to get back to the action at the front of the race. Etienne and Robbie Bax here look to be back in the lead. They are. The Lefferings are going backwards. There they are. Tim and Sam Leffering had a problem. Etienne and Robbie Bax are back in front. Kerben is in 3rd. So this is absolutely astonishing from Etienne and Robbie Bax, who are bringing it home here. 1.5 minutes to go before we get the 2-lap board. But the Bax brothers, so much confusion on these closing laps with tail enders. And it doesn't pay to take your eyes off the action on screen too long to look at the timing information, because, as we've said so many times in this sport, anything can happen, and almost invariably will, in the sport of sidecar cross. Lefferings then, from having assumed the lead, have now surrendered again to the 5 times world champion. Under a minute to go before next time round, maybe we'll see 2 laps, but we might have to do another 3. But Robbie Bax, I can tell you, I am full of admiration for a man who's not been in the hot seat for pretty much 2 seasons. And equally for his driver. But they know the sand, they know how to ride it. They live about 9 kilometers away. Getting off the racing line there. Letting the rest of them through. All sorts of problems for the slower teams here. Once you stop on this deep stuff, you've barely got the energy to move. Blue flags being waved copiously here. And the race leader being directed out of trouble's way. He knows it. He knows where to go. 2 laps then. Through go the left wing. They are in second place. Justin Kerben still in third, waiting for him. Tom van der Lagermaat going through. Stuart Brown going through. We just saw that. There's Etienne Bax, race leader, on his penultimate lap. Justin Kerben some 12 seconds off the race lead and 8 behind left wing. Brett Wilkinson still there, with Veldman now some 7 seconds behind him. Koen Hermans, 6th place for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart, ahead of Daniel and Bruno Lielbardis. But I'm going to keep my eyes on the action here with Etienne Bax and Robbie Bax on their penultimate lap. 1 to do then. Let's just watch the pictures of this stylish 5 times world champion. Through on the inside of Stuart Brown and Scott Graham. British crew staying respectfully out of the way. Multiple Grand Prix race winner, of course, and overall winner, Stuart Brown. Umpteen times, I think 18 times, a British champion. The man in yellow, hugging the far side of the track and staying out of harm's way. It just happens to be also the best line for the left-hand sidecars. And that's the one that Brett Wilkinson has been powering around for the last half an hour. Back then, this is just out of this world. I mean, I said the man's a machine. He and his machine and his brother, just amazing combination. Tim and Sam Lefrink are still very much in the fray. Have they got anything left in the closing laps? And we're on it now, the final lap. 1 more lap to go for Etienne and Robbie Bax. And Robbie will be thinking at this point, when is it going to end? Well, not far now, Robbie. Just hang in there, kid. Brilliant performance. Tim and Sam Lefrink have got them in sight. Have they got the inspiration, the motivation, and the powers of endurance to turn that 3-second deficit into a fraction of a second victory? Well, time will tell, but Etienne Bax is sticking to his guns here. The bike immaculately prepared, and how satisfying must this be to come out of retirement, not just once, but twice on an annual basis, on a one-off, to ride in one of the toughest tracks in the world, which just happens to be less than 10 miles down the road from where you live, and pull off a performance like this. Those of us who have ridden, passengered and driven, as many of us have done, will understand just what this means and what an achievement it is. On his final lap then, Etienne Bax with the Lefrinks in touch, but he's approaching the checkered flag, and it's job done for Etienne and Robbie Bax, who have done it again with the Lefrinks closing. It was under 3 seconds at the flag. Justin Kerben will come over as Stuart Brown a lap down, comes across. Kerben, Dion Rietman. There they are, third place, not too shabby. 20 seconds down, but never mind. Looking now for Brett Wilkinson and Joe Miller, the British crew, who are some 18 seconds further back from Kerben. But it's Bax, Lefrink and Kerben, that's the top three. Astonishing. Heading for the interview positions. Wilkinson fourth. He and Joe Millard fourth ahead of Veldman. Herman sixth. Lilbardis, Prumer, Wires, Sanders, Brown, Mulders. Killian Evan Prunier, 14th place. So they score valuable points to keep their second place in the championship alive. It was indeed damage limitation and not a victory score for Koen Hermans, who gets 15 points to add to his 195. We'll move him to 210. And Prunier then still very much in touch. After here we go to hardpack, which is more to the French champion's liking. But the podium, Etienne Robbie Bax, Tim Sem Lefrink and Justin Kerben and Dion Rietman. That's our top three. And what a race that was, and what a performance from the Bax brothers. Well, third place we're going to talk to, and it's our ever-smiling passenger for Justin Kerben. It's Dion Rietman. Come on, Dion, let's have it.
So Dion, third place in the first race. It's a really good result, but riding in these conditions must be really demanding, isn't it?
No, to be honest, the most difficult thing is all the traffic that we get into, because I think we had the speed to win, but we messed up the whole shot, so that's on us. But both guys were really well in front of us, so we couldn't find a position to pass. But it was not easy. But
yeah, you will see for the second race. I wish you good luck for that.
Thank you.
Well, I said ever smiling Dion. He was not happy there. Third place, but he felt robbed. He thought they could win that, and I have to say, their lap speeds were good, but Bax still put in the quickest lap, 153.898. And we are going to be talking now to the man who did the fastest lap, Etienne Bax, race winner.
So at the end, the race win for you. You are taking the maximum points. How are you feeling?
Oh, very tired, but I'm just very happy. You know, after 10 minutes of racing, maybe because of the tension, I was very tired. I could replace myself, stay behind the other riders, and look the lines. Then 5 minutes later, it was going again, and we could take back. So very happy, very thankful to the team and to all the supporters who are here around us again. And hopefully we can make a nice result in the second moto.
Yeah. Take some rest, and I wish you good luck for the second race also.
Thank you.
Oh, what a class act. What a class act to be that calculating. After 10 minutes I was exhausted, but I regrouped, and then we got going again. The energy came back and we were able to retake the lead. I mean, what a calculating rider, and that's the way he lives his life. You know, he is a very calculating and organized and highly professional person. Confirmation of that result. Bax, Lefrink and Kerben, Dion Rietman was not happy. I guess Justin, that probably reflects his mood as well. They thought they could have done better. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, fantastic fourth place for them, keeping their championship challenge well alive. Veldman and Janssens put a spoke in the wheel of Hermans and Ben van den Bogart and took some points off them. The Lilbardis boys, not as well as they would have liked, but they're still scoring better points than they were early in the season. Stuart Brown and Scott Graham, very respectable. They were lapped though in 11th place. The Prunier boys 14th, That's all they needed to do. Just keep on plugging away, get some more points in the second race, lads. That's all you can hope for, and then take it on to Strasbourg. And that's where we go from here. It was absolutely a fantastic race. We are, of course, coming back for race 2, but from here in Lommel, it's been so hot, so wonderful. We're all going to take time out now. From me, Barry Nutley. Join us again on FIM-Moto.tv for race 2 from Lommel, another Grand Prix stunner coming up. But for now, we'll take a break. Take care. Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukenes certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.